One of the biggest scientific discoveries in the last few years was that of the Higgs boson. And it was discovered at the Large Hadron Collider, a massive particle collider underneath the ground in Switzerland. But soon after the discovery, the Large Hadron Collider was turned off to be upgraded. And today it was turned back on again for the first time, and particles were sent around the Large Hadron Collider. So what can we expect for the new Large Hadron Collider since its upgrade? So what is the Large Hadron Collider? Well, it's a 27-kilometre long tunnel, 100 metres underground underneath Switzerland. And in it there's a large tube, and in this tube streams of particles are fired around and around in this circle. And at some points during this large path, the particles collide with each other. And when these collide, these particles smash into lots of other smaller and smaller particles. And there are massive large detectors within the Large Hadron Collider that are there to try and detect all these showers of small particles that come off in the hope that we can find new particles and learn more things about particle physics. And the Large Hadron Collider has already made some incredible discoveries. One of the ones it's found is a type of matter that's really incredibly dense. It's almost as dense as the matter inside a black hole. And it's also found lots of different types of particles as well, which are filling in our idea of what particle physics is like and our different types of models for what different particles there are. But surely the biggest discovery it's made is that of the Higgs boson. This is the particle that gives all other particles mass or matter or weight as a kind of example. And this is one of the biggest things that the Large Hadron Collider was trying to find, and it managed to find it only a few years ago. And finding this has helped us understand more about particle physics, and again to try and think about all the different types of models of particles we have and to fill in some of the blanks. So if the Large Hadron Collider has already found the Higgs boson and lots of other particles, why do we even want to upgrade it? Well, we want to find out more things, and current technology means that we're starting to run out of things we can find with the current technology that's involved in the Large Hadron Collider. There's three ways that scientists think they can improve the Large Hadron Collider to get more results out. For a start, they can make bigger and better detectors so we can see more particles that come off of the particles that are smashed together in these beams of protons. The other thing we can do is to make these particles more energetic, and as you get more energetic you get more and crazier particles come out. And the other thing is we can send more particles around. More particles means more particles collide, we get more collisions and much more data to look at. So what upgrades have the scientists done to the Large Hadron Collider? Well, what they've done is they've made the particles much more energetic. This means when they smash together, there are more particles that come out, more different and interesting particles that we can find. And to do this, there's lots of magnets around the outside of this tunnel that particles travel through, and these keep the particle within a long, thin beam going around the Large Hadron Collider. What scientists have done is they've tweaked and improved these magnets so they can get the particles going at even faster and faster speeds, so the collisions get us even more interesting data that we can study. So what do scientists hope to find in the new and improved Large Hadron Collider? Well, there are some results they want to go back to and just check they're correct from the previous set of runs they had before the upgrade. But also, they want to find much more particles. But it's not just increasing the list of particles, because the more particles we get gives us some idea of what the model of particle physics are. See, at the moment we have something called standard model, and this tells us what type of particles there are, it gives us some rules about particle physics. And this is the best idea we have at the moment, but there are lots of other ideas out there. The more particles we find, we can eliminate some of these other models until we find the perfect model that explains all of particle physics. So this is kind of what scientists are trying to do. They're not just trying to find more particles they can study, they're trying to narrow down what the model is of all of particle physics so we can understand particle physics and physics in general much better. And finally, these upgrades have been complete. After 2 years of improving the Large Hadron Collider, it should now be able to send particles around to a much higher energy. But in fact, it was supposed to turn on last week, but there were a couple of problems. At one point, a small piece of dust got inside the tube, and this caused some problem and short-circuited one of the massive magnets. It's an incredible thing that just one single piece of dust could break the entire Large Hadron Collider essentially and turn it off for a week. This shows how fragile and sensitive the Large Hadron Collider is. And because it's this fragile, there are obviously going to be some problems, but it does mean we can get even more incredible and precise results out at the end. But despite these couple of setbacks, the Large Hadron Collider is up and running now. Today it got turned on for the first time. They're sending particles all the way around the Large Hadron Collider now. So this is really, really good. There's still a long way to go. It's going to take several weeks for them to get up to the full energy and get up to the full standard of the Large Hadron Collider. And then in a few months' time we should start expecting some great science to come out of it, and hopefully we can detect some new and incredible particles and learn more about the standard model of particle physics. So hopefully I've got you interested in the Large Hadron Collider. It's really interesting. There should be some really great scientific discoveries over the next few years, so definitely keep an eye out for it. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave some comments below if you've got any questions or comments on the Large Hadron Collider. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at UKAstroNut, Facebook UKAstroNut. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. NASA has spent decades designing a mission to get humans to the surface of Mars. They estimate the cost over $100 billion, which would make it one of the most expensive scientific projects of all time. However, it's the organisation Mars One which has been grabbing all the news headlines for their proposed mission to take humans to the surface of Mars. However, many people are sceptical about the reality of the Mars One project. So, is Mars One going to be the project that gets humans first onto the surface of Mars, or is it a load of old space junk?